Hey, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at yet another Young Avengers Omnibus. Now, I really enjoyed reading this, so I'm excited to do an overview look of the book. So without further ado, let's take a look at this book. Here is the front of the book, featuring Patriot, who I have a lot of thoughts about, and the rest of the Young Avengers. I believe this is the variant cover, but really, in this case, one wasn't better than the other. They were both really dynamic, awesome covers. And here is the spine of the book, which is pretty generic stuff here that we've gotten used to. White spine, logo, picture of team. I love what they did with the back of the book here. It's kind of a mix of the older list all the covers in here and a new way of not doing that. They kind of mashed those two things up, and I think it looks great. So let's jump into the Young Avengers by Heinberg and Cheung, but first of all, let's talk about what this collects. This collects Young Avengers 1 through 12, Young Avengers Special, Civil War, Young Avengers and Runaways 1 through 4, Young Avengers Presents 1 through 6, Secret Invasion, Runaways and Young Avengers 1 through 3, Dark Reign, Young Avengers 1 through 5, Siege, Young Avengers, and Avengers the Children's Crusade 1 through 9, and I believe there's fragments of other material in here as well. So first I want to address a reading continuity mistake that I made, and almost a mistake that Marvel made in their omnibus printing. To my knowledge, this is the first printing of Heinberg and Cheung's Young Avengers book, but Marvel went ahead and printed Gillen's book first, which is a predecessor to this run. So when I read Gillen's run recently, I didn't really have any of the context of this run or have any prior characterizations to sort of build upon. But now I kind of see things from the full picture. That's all to say, if you're interested in learning more about the Young Avengers, don't be like me and read Gillen's run first. Read this run first, which I will also say I enjoyed a lot more. I actually even think this is one of the best Avengers omnibuses we have. I mean, I really enjoyed reading this, much more than I thought I would too. I already knew that I liked some of the characters that are in the Young Avengers from Gillen's run, although some of those also are not in this particular run, like America Chavez. But in this run, I thought all the characters were excellent and nuanced, and they really took a deep dive into them and cultivating their personalities to their fullest extent. But also just the plot, like I was very into it, and I feel at times when it comes to books published by Marvel or even DC to some extent, I haven't read that much of them yet, but I'm just kind of assuming here that their characters are so beloved, so well known, that sometimes they'll just throw the characters into a plot that isn't as concise or tight and just hope for the best. And maybe that is the plus of this book, is that it's basically playing around with a lot of characters that either are being introduced in this book or haven't had really a lot of page time yet. So of course they needed a, more firm plot to glue everyone together. So this basically takes place after the original Avengers have disbanded because I believe Avengers Disassembled, which was when Scarlet Witch had one of her, patented episodes and kind of really messed things up. So to fill that void, and also for some Kang the Conqueror related reasons that I won't spoil, this new team assembles, and that is Patriot, who's the grandson of Isaiah Bradley, the first Captain America, Kate Bishop, who doesn't seem to find a hero name that really sticks in this book. And then there's Stature, who is Cassie Lang, aka Scott Lang's daughter. There's a time-displaced version of Vision that's kind of like a teenage Vision in a sense, and I could explain that to you in more depth and more accurately, but I feel like it would be unnecessary in this video. And then there's also Hulkling, who's got an interesting history in here that's explored with the Krees, the Skrulls, and the original Captain Marvel, who's also time displaced for a bit in here, which I guess just like time displacement is now a part of every single comic book ever. I don't mind it, I just think it's funny it shows up literally everywhere. I guess from a writer's perspective, it's kind of a fun tool to use. And then finally, there are also the presumed children of the Scarlet Witch, that being Wiccan and Speed. I will give a little honorable mention to Iron Lad in case there's any big Iron Lad fans out there. He is in this book, he's in it in the beginning a little bit, and he's in the end a little bit, and there's reasons he's not in the middle, but again, I don't want to get into any big spoilers about the story here. But guys, I seriously thought this was such a fantastic read, and I guess the kind of big standout characters to me, it's almost all of them really, they're all handled really well, but I'd have to say specifically, Patriot, Wiccan, Stature, and then Kate Bishop, I think are all handled expertly, just so incredibly well handled. I don't think I've seen them written better, to be honest. Now, with that statement though, keep in mind that I haven't read too much of any of these characters yet. But I think my favorite part of this omnibus, honestly, was the Children's Crusade stuff, which I'll get into a little bit. It's a 9-issue limited series they did. And then just these Young Avengers Presents stories they did that each spotlight one member of the Young Avengers. And they were just really, really well handled. Just beautiful little stories that encapsulated kind of the core motifs of the character. And it actually helped me understand Patriot and his motives and his rationality a lot better. I think without that one shot, it's easy to kind of see him as an angry and bitter at times and insecure leader, but his Young Avengers Presents story helps recontextualize him, and you realize that while yes, he can be hasty at times, he's actually incredibly thoughtful and intelligent, and he just wants to do the right thing. But sometimes, especially for a teenager, it can be hard to sift through all of life's baggage and actually determine what the right thing is. Then he has this excellent chat with Bucky about legacy and America and being someone who contributes to making the world a better place, and I really love that. It captured one of the reasons that I think comics are just such a powerful medium, and if anything is worth checking out, then check out Young Avengers Presents Patriot. The other stories in there are good too, and they handle sort of similar subject matter at times. There's also just some fun ones in there too, but I just wanted to call out the Patriot one for being my favorite among the Young Avengers Presents stories. Before we get into the Children's Crusade, I also did want to mention, as you probably noticed, there is some event tie-ins here for the Young Avengers. There's like the Siege storyline, there is the Civil War storyline, there's the Secret Invasion storyline, and those also cross over with the Runaways a little bit. I'm bringing them up because I don't personally enjoy those that much. I don't like tie-ins like that usually, especially for some events that I haven't read. Like, I've read Secret Invasion, at least I've read Civil War, but like Siege, I've not even gotten to yet, so I was like, I don't too well know what this is, so I don't too much care about it. Depending on what you like, your mileage will vary there though. Alright, so we'll end this video out talking about the Children's Crusade briefly. So this is the story of Wiccan teaming up with what he presumes is his family, and also the rest of the Young Avengers, to go and find out where the Scarlet Witch has been hiding out after the events of House of M. And he's seeking her out because 1, he believes she is his mother, and 2, his powers are scaring him a bit with their potential, so he wants to go talk to the one person that could relate and possibly teach him something about them. But this ends up becoming a huge incident involving the Avengers, the X-Men, and Doctor Doom himself, as everyone is trying to get their hands on Wanda for a variety of different reasons. I really like this. It's pretty intelligently written and deals with an extremely complex character and situation with what I think is the appropriate care. I'm personally still up in the air with how I'm supposed to feel about comic book Wanda. Like, I'm a big X-Men fan, so there's definitely some bias involved there, but I just don't know. They've done a lot with her, and I've made her the bane of some hero type's existence, and then have had her try and atone for that as well, but it's all really complicated, and I guess that's partly what makes it fun to read. And then I will also add the Magneto, Quicksilver, Wiccan, Speed, and Scarlet Witch family reunion is as fun as it sounds. So I highly recommend this book, guys. If you've picked this up and you've read it, let me know what you think. If not, let me know if you're planning on picking it up. And with that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for that.